Hey there YouTube, this is 101 Bronson back here again with another top 10 list. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Lord, come on, let's do this. This is the top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is gonna be amazing, fantastic. There's a lot of great movies in here. And yeah, I cannot talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger for 5 minutes without doing at least one impression of him. So from now on in this video, every time I'm gonna get into a Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, I'm gonna put a little warning thing right here. Watch out for Arnie, because that's gonna be my signal for you to watch out for another lame impression. So anyway, there's a lot of great Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that made this top 10. Obviously, I love each and every one of these movies, but there's also quite a few that did not make the list. And so first we're gonna go into my honorable mentions, and then we're gonna go into the top 10. So just gonna throw a few movies out here, and first honorable mention goes out to the movie Twins from 1988, directed by Ivan Reitman, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. This is Arnie's first comedy, in which Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Julius, a genetically manipulated perfect human being, and all the leftovers from whatever they used to make Arnie went into a separated the embryo that they injected the girl with, and so you got the perfect human being who was Arnold, and then you got the leftover, and that went into Danny DeVito, and they're actually both twins, hence the title of the movie. And it's a great comedy movie, man, and I wanted to put it on here, but there's another comedy that Arnie did that I prefer more, so that one made the list, but we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Twins, 1988, directed by Ivan Reitman. Check it out, it's a great movie. Another honorable mention goes out to the movie End of Days. This is a very underrated Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I always liked, in which Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a New York City cop who takes on Satan, the devil himself. It sounds ridiculous, but it's actually a really underrated and great action thriller movie. And yeah, check it out, End of Days from 1999. It's a great movie. I mean, just to do another, one of Arnie's quotes is literally, he says to the devil, "You're a fucking choir boy compared to me, a choir boy." Yeah, that tells you enough, and just for that alone it deserves to be at least mentioned here in this video. So End of Days, 1999. Another honorable mention goes out to the movie Red Heat from 1988, if I'm not mistaken. It was from 88, yeah. Same year as Twins. This one stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Belushi in a film directed by Walter Hill. It's a buddy cop movie in which Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a Russian cop who was sent out to Chicago, and he teams up with Jim Belushi's Chicago, police cop, and it's a funny and very underrated action movie. I mean, just to hear Arnold Schwarzenegger put on a accent on top of his own accent, he has a little Russian accent going on top of his very thick Austrian accent. That is actually very, what's the word, ironic? Anyway, it's a great movie, definitely check it out. And another honorable mention, is the final one, goes out to Arnold's only Christmas movie, Jingle All The Way. And I think this is a very good Christmas movie in which Arnold plays a father who goes out toy hunting to buy a Turbo Man doll for his son for Christmas, but the toy is sold out. And yeah, it sounds silly, but it's a Christmas, it's a holiday movie, and it's one that I watch every Christmas myself personally. I'm just looking for a Turbo Man doll. Yeah, great. I fucking love this movie. So that concludes the honorable mentions. Let's move on to the top 10. And at number 10 we have The Running Man from 1987. This is a fantastic Arnold Schwarzenegger 80s action movie, chock full of one-liners. Here is Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine. Lol. What happened to Bossa? Oh, he had to split. Yeah, The Running Man. He plays Ben Richards. It's based on a Stephen King novel. Even though I've read that Stephen King novel, except for like the name Ben Richards and the name of the villain Killian, it has nothing to do with the novel. But still, inspired by a Stephen King short. No, it wasn't a short. It was a full novel, but it was a very short novel by Stephen King. Because usually Stephen King like makes fucking books that are thicker than the Bible. But anyway, he plays Ben Richards, a escaped convict who's wrongfully, by the way, put in prison. He escapes and he is captured and he's forced to be put on this television show. It takes place in the future, and its most popular television show in the future is called The Running Man. Obviously, that's why the title of the movie. And he's contesting in this game, The Running Man, and it's a game of life and death. And it's a great movie, man. Definitely check this one out because it's a fantastic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that every Arnie fan deserves, to have experienced at least once because it's a very good movie. Anyway, at number 9 we have Last Action Hero from 1993. Very underrated. If there's any movie of Arnie that is like the most underrated, it's probably this one, because it got very bad reviews back in the day. I mean, the people that made this movie, they had the stupid sense to put this movie out against Jurassic Park, and that's one of the major reasons why it failed. But it's a very great movie. It's a very good movie, in which it's kind of meta, where you have this kid played by I forget the kid actor's name. I believe it was Dan O'Brien or something like that, but don't quote that against me. But it's a little kid. I believe he's in the movie. He's called Danny. He loves Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, as we all do. And he goes to like a little sneak preview for the next Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He's like a total fan of the Jack Slater series, which is a fictional Arnold franchise within this movie. Yeah, it gets kind of confusing explaining it. But anyway, he's friendly with this old guy who operates a movie theater. And this old guy gives him a magic ticket given to him by Harry Houdini. And through the ticket, the little kid is transported into the movie. And then he's alongside with Arnold, when Arnold does all his one-liners. I'll be back, everything.
I'm back.
And in a twist, they go into the real world, and yeah, it's very meta, but it's a very great movie. There's a chock full of great Arnie liners. I love it when he goes and meets Charles Dance, who's the main villain in the movie, when he meets his character for the first time. First, you got the Professor Tanaka, who plays Sub-Zero in Running Man. He's in this movie. He opens the door, and then Arnie says, "Good afternoon, we're looking for drug dealers." I'm paraphrasing, by the way. Wait, no, this is the way he said it. "Can I speak to the drug dealer of the house, please?" "I beg your pardon?" "It's a beautiful afternoon. Are we out killing drug dealers? Do you ever need a house?" And then Charles Dance comes out and they have this whole thing. I don't know how it leads up, but Charles Dance, he has these guard dogs, and he tells Arnold, "Now why don't you and Toto go hit the road, hit the bricks? Any questions?" And then Arnold lights a cigar. "Yeah, 2 of them. Why am I wasting my time with somebody like you when I could be doing something more dangerous in my life, like rearranging my sock drawer? And 2, how are you going to snap your fingers after I rip off both your thumbs?" Because he snaps his fingers and the guard dogs will attack and stuff like that. And then Arnold, he says to the kid, he goes away, and then he says, "Where you going?" "I'll be back." "Ha! You didn't know I was going to say that, did you?" "That's what you always say." "I do?" "Yeah, it's like a calling card." And then later on, it goes back to that moment where they're in the real world. And then Arnold makes up his own real world one-liner. He's like, he grabs this taxi guy in the real world in New York City. And he grabs the taxi guy. "You know those movies where they say, 'Make my day' or 'I'm your worst nightmare'? Well, listen to this one. Rubber baby buggy bumpers." "Ha! You didn't know I was going to say that, did you?" Fucking love this movie. The Last Action Hero, check it out. It's amazing. And at number 8, we have a great Arnold Schwarzenegger action comedy. This is Kindergarten Cop. Yes, this is a really fantastic movie. It's from 1990. Arnold plays Detective John Kimball, who is a tough cop, but he has to go undercover as a kindergarten teacher at the school, and hilarity and freaking comedy ensues. It's a really great movie. It also has some drama in it. It's also a very heartfelt movie. But you also got the Arnold Schwarzenegger action scenes in there, and you got comedy. It's a nice mix of all things, and definitely one that every Arnie fan should check out because it's a really amazing movie. I mean,
I'm back.
it's not a tumor. Yeah, this is. Oh yeah, I freaking love this movie. Who is your daddy, and what does he do? I have a headache. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all. We're going to play a wonderful game called Police School. Yeah, Kindergarten Cop. Check it out. At number 7, we have another Arnold classic from 1990. This is Total Recall. I want to go to Mars. Yeah, this is where he plays. This is a very convoluted plot to have to explain, without having the context of the movie. But he plays a guy on Earth. It takes place in the future. It's directed by Dutch director Paul Verhoeven. He plays Douglas Quaid. He's married to Sharon Stone, who's really hot in this movie. This is Sharon Stone in her prime, so yeah. But he's dreaming of going to Mars, and then one day he goes to recall, and he gets this memory implant so that it makes him believe that he has been to Mars. It gives him a memory of being to Mars. Kind of, that's the nutshell of it. But then stuff actually happens, and it finds out that he's a double agent or whatever, and he's working actually for villains in Mars, and he's been brainwashed and all this stuff. And it's always been kind of a debate among fans if the movie is a dream or if it really happened. I'm kind of personally on the dream theory, but there's also enough evidence to back up the whole movie that it's real, that it's happening. But I don't know. It definitely makes for an interesting discussion. Let me know how you guys feel about that down in the comment section. But full of great Arnold Schwarzenegger moments. Probably this movie and Conan the Barbarian is the one where everybody got the famous Arnold sound from, because in this movie you got that a lot, especially in the scene where he's pulling this orb out of his nose and he's like, he pulls it. That's where we all got that Arnold noise from. And yeah, Total Recall, man. You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here, Hauser. Ha, look who's talking. I cannot get enough of these Arnold movies, man. I really gotta watch some. I think after this video I'm gonna do a marathon of a few Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, because man, just talking about it and remembering the scenes back in my head, it's making me want to watch these movies again. Anyway, Total Recall at number 7. And at number 6 we have Conan the Barbarian, 1982. This is like the first big movie for Arnold Schwarzenegger, in which he plays Conan the Cimmerian, or the Barbarian. I don't know. A slave who is freed, and he goes after this cult who killed his parents when he was younger. It's a sword and sandal fantasy movie, and it's a great one. I mean, this movie is kind of where Arnold started with his like sounds, where he's like falling and he's getting hit. He's doing that. Pretty much that's most of his dialogue. When he has actual dialogue, it's very cool one-liners. One of my favorite lines is "Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women." Yeah. I kid you not, and this is the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger punches out a camel. Roll the clip.
Can you believe that? Huh? Can you
Yeah. Conan the Barbarian is a great movie, co-starring James Earl Jones. Max von Sydow has a part in this one. It's directed by John Milius, who's a very great and competent director. And Conan the Barbarian from 1982. At number 6, you should definitely check this movie out. And now we're entering the top 5, and at our number 5 spot we have the 1987 action horror sci-fi classic Predator. Get to the chopper! Yeah, I just had to get that one out. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Yeah, this is the one where you have like Arnold and his team in the jungle on a mission, and then they're getting stalked by an alien, which is the Predator, a creature from outer space with modern advanced technology. He has like this invisibility cloak, and he's stalking Arnold's team in the jungle, and picking off Arnold's team one by one. It's a very fantastic, well-made action movie, directed by John McTiernan, who did Die Hard, Last Action Hero, Hunt for Red October, the Thomas Crown Affair. He's a very great and competent director. This is probably one of the best movies of all time, you know, in this genre, in the action genre. And it's truly an Arnie classic, chock full of one-liners again. I love the moment where he's gearing up, he's putting like the mud on him, and he's preparing himself for the final battle with the Predator, and he lets out this huge cry, like this big war cry. You know, I cannot do it right now. I have neighbors, so I cannot scream on the top of my lungs, but you know, I can roll you a clip. Yeah, it's a great movie. Definitely check this one out, for those that haven't. And at number 4, we have the 1994 action comedy classic True Lies. Yes, this is I told in my last update video collection. I have now the True Lies Spanish Blu-ray in my collection, and I already predicted that if I were ever to do a top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movie list, this would be very high. And here you go, True Lies, directed by James Cameron, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, Art Malik, Tia Carrere. I feel like I'm forgetting a few major people in this movie, but it's a great movie in which Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a secret agent. His wife thinks he's a computer salesman, and he's a secret agent who saves the world a bunch of times, and then he finds out, or he believes that his wife, Jamie Lee Curtis, is cheating on him with Bill Paxton. Oh yeah, Bill Paxton is in this movie. I knew I forgot someone. Bill Paxton is great. He has some great lines in this movie, where he's talking about Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and this is before the whole political correctness thing, so I'm quoting a movie here, guys, you know, don't take this against me. But he's describing Jamie Lee Curtis as having you know, she has a pair of titties that make you want to stand up and beg for buttermilk. Ass like a 10-year-old boy. By the way, never say that an ass looks like a 10-year-old boy's ass. It'll just get you in trouble. Don't fucking say that. Okay, now that we cleared that up, but all joking aside, those are some great lines that he throws out there. Anyway, Arnold suspects Jamie Lee Curtis of cheating on him, so yeah, he sets up the situation where Jamie Lee Curtis has to do a secret mission, and that leads to Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis being captured by Arabian terrorists in this movie. And yeah, it's a great movie. Definitely check this one out. True Lies, 1994. It's a true classic. Pardon the pun. So check this one out. Here we go with our number 3 pick. This is the 1985 action classic Commando. Let's Party. Yeah, I love this movie too. Death, man. I've seen this countless of times. I can always watch this. I don't care what mood I'm in. This is one of those movies I could just pick out, and whatever mood I'm in, I'll just pop it in, watch it, and enjoy it. And it's Arnold plays a retired Green Beret Special Forces military guy. His old team members are being killed. Then his daughter gets kidnapped, and he's forced into going to another country to kill a president or a dictator there, so that the main villain of the movie can take over that country. And if he doesn't comply, they're gonna kill his daughter, played by Alyssa Milano, by the way. And of course, Arnie is not gonna stand back and take it and just do what they say. So as soon as he can, he's gonna escape, and he's gonna proceed, you know, to basically wreak fucking hell upon every villain in this movie, leading up into the climactic battle between him and Bennett, his former army buddy and former team member. who's one of the bad guys, and everybody knows the line when he kills Bannon in the end. It's not even a spoiler because you know it's an action movie and you know Arnold is gonna kill everybody. But he kills the main guy and he picks up this freaking steaming hot pipe. He throws it at him. He pierces through the guy, and you see the steam coming out, and that of course is a great moment for Arnold to get a one-liner in there. Let off some steam, Bennett. Yes. And by the way, this movie is like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. As a matter of fact, Arnold doesn't even have like full dialogue in this movie. All his dialogue consists of one-liners. Might be one or two lines that are actually real dialogue. The rest is one-liners. But it's a great movie. It's cheesy. It's over the top, and it's a classic. It's really a classic. So yeah, Commando, 1985 at number 3. And here we go, guys. At number 2, we have the 1984 ultimate cyborg robot movie, The Terminator. This is a true classic. Arnold Schwarzenegger as a machine from the future, sent back to kill Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton. You got also Michael Biehn in this movie. This is of course written and directed by James Cameron. Yeah, what can I say about The Terminator that has not been said already? It spawned a franchise that is unfortunately still going today, because after the second one we really did not get any good sequels. Culminating in the disaster of the franchise, Terminator Dark Fate. I will distance myself entirely from that movie. I regret seeing that one in theaters. It was so bad. Anyway, Terminator 1 from 1984. This is a fantastic movie. Arnie is the bad guy in this one. He only has a handful of lines. Some of the most iconic lines ever. I'll be back is the most prominent, of course. But I like his little dialogue leading up to I'll be back. Where he is in the police station. He has the freaking gargoyle sunglasses on. He has a leather jacket with the collar popped up. He's like, I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. I was told to just here. Could I see her, please? And the cop's like very casually nonchalant. No, you can't see her. She's making a statement. Where is she? It might take a while. If you want to wait, there's a bench over there. And he continues to write. And he's like in scan mode. He's like, I'll be back. And then he goes and then he drives to the police station. Of course, this is also the movie where he does one of my all-time favorite Arnold lines. Uzi 9mm when he's in the gun shop. That's one of my favorite scenes from the movie. Where he goes in and he's like, phase plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Hey, it's just what you see, pal. The Uzi 9mm, the 12-gauge autoloader, and of course the 45 long slide with laser sighting. Yeah, such a great movie, iconic moments. I love the techno-war nightclub sequence with the great use of slow motion and build-up, and very great in building suspense. And Linda Hamilton, she was very attractive back in the 80s. I will be very honest here. I mean, and she has a great scene in the movie, of course, where she gets topless, which is actually one of the best love sequences in the movie, because it really is vital to the story. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but I don't think I can spoil it, because I think everybody has seen this movie by now. But yeah, it's one of the best love sequences in the movie, not just because we see a bit of skin, but it's also serving the story. And I think that's always great. I mean, I don't mind nudity for the sake of nudity, but you know, if it's done in a smart way, and James Cameron, he's a smart guy. Don't get me wrong. I just hate the direction he took with, you know, after True Lies with Titanic and Avatar and stuff. But that aside, you know, he's a smart guy, and Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, very great and smartly and very insightful written scripts that are actually very, very well written. He's a great writer and he's a great director. So yeah, Terminator 1, 1984 at number 2. So at number 1, we only have one more movie left here. I think a lot of you will know what this one is. There's only one that can top the Terminator from 1984. It is of course Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 1991. This is the ultimate Arnie movie. the best movie he has ever done, in my opinion. And the best movie James Cameron ever did. The best movie I almost want to call her Sarah Connor. You hear that? The best movie Linda Hamilton has been in. Best movie Robert Patrick has been in, actually. So yeah, it's for me, it's like the ultimate action movie, actually. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably the best action movie ever made. It's just non-stop in this movie, right? But it's also very cohesive and very well told story, in which Arnold is actually the good guy. They flipped it around from the first one, and he's the protector for John Connor in this movie, and he also, of course, aids Sarah Connor in the movie. And it's a very well told story about human relationships and the relationships with machines and stuff. And yeah, it's a very good, solid movie. Great lines in this one, of course.
Hasta la vista, baby. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
And then there's the part, if you watch the extended full version of this movie, which is, for me, it's the way to go. I love the theatrical version as well. But I have the Blu-ray where you have 3 versions. You have the theatrical version, director's cut, and the director's cut with the alternate ending. Okay, the alternate ending is not that necessary for me, so I'll just go with the full director's cut. But you have a sequence in there that they actually use in Terminator Genesis as well. It's done better here, if you ask me. Where John Connor is teaching Terminator Arnold to smile, and it's a great scene.
Smile once in a while.
Smile?
Yeah, you know, smile. See that guy over there? That's a smile.
You're great.
That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
Anyway, yeah, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I know now why you cry, but it is something that I can never do. Yeah, I mean, every time we get to the end of this movie, I cry like a baby. I tell you the honest truth here. Women cry at Titanic, but men cry at Terminator 2. That's what they always say, right? Yeah, it's definitely true in my case. Yeah, what an ending, what a movie. Full roller coaster ride, full with emotion and action, and great story, great one-liners. The ultimate Arnold movie, and that concludes my top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your opinion down at the comments. You know, what's your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? Do you have a top 10? What are some of your favorite moments from an Arnie movie? What are some of your favorite one-liners? Of course, I've spewed out a few in this video. What are your favorite one-liners from Arnie? What are your favorite movies? Keep the conversation going. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, you know, of course, leave a like. And if you're new to this channel and you like this video, you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. You know, I would totally appreciate it. And I thank each and every one for it. And having said that, you know, stay safe and healthy, everyone, in these troubling times. And yeah, we will be back with another top 10 very soon. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching once again. And I mean, normally I say so long for now, but seeing this is like the nature of this video is Arnold Schwarzenegger, I have to end it with one of his lines. So here we go. I'll be back.